all I've been reading this week is about the slippery slope we are on with AI and how it could destroy humanity. And then yesterday, or was it earlier this week, that Apple had the event where they announced their AI. Brandon, tell us about Elon Musk, because I saw Elon Musk now wants to go against Apple's AI, and he also dropped his lawsuit against ChatGPT.
Yes.
So there's a lot of AI things going on. What do you have for us?
Yeah, so in addition to Tim Cook giving his big speech in front of the Pride flag, he was also announcing that
He is gay, right?
I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim
He
Cook
is?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep. So
Oh, wow.
He has the fist
process
up.
that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, where is that fist
For
up?
Apple.
Shame. Oh, my God, you guys. Okay, Brandon, go.
Yes.
Yep,
so,
he is gay.
No
All right.
way.
Yep,
Wow.
confirmed. All right.
Thank
So
you,
in-
Internet.
In addition to that, so Elon Musk, he tweeted, "It's unacceptable and a security violation that Apple has no clue what's going on. It's patently absurd that Apple is integrating with OpenAI." And he said if it dares to integrate it into its operating system, that he might be forced to start his own Tesla phone. So some of the features that this might include is that Apple Siri can access ChatGPT. So, you can literally talk to Siri, do anything that you could do with ChatGPT with it, ask any of the questions, it'll prompt it for you,
Wow.
et cetera, and create emojis and whatnot.
It was weird because I watched the woman try and explain how they're going to spy on you and everything that you're doing, but it's for you. Like, it was
Yeah.
like, well, Siri can listen to your conversations and then put calendar invites on your calendar. And the woman's like, that would normally take me 3 or 4 minutes. But now with AI or Apple's AI, and I went, no, they're just listening to everything you're saying now, dummy.
Yeah.
It'll help you, I swear.
No, it was different. Look, for me, I was one of the guys that after 2001, I'm like, yeah, Patriot Act, let's go. I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. Spy on my phone. I want to make sure the country's safe. I was an idiot and I was scared. I was 14 years old, and I had just watched planes fly into buildings that I'd never seen before. Allegedly, they may have been holograms, but that's another story for another episode. I was for that then because it was a national security issue. I felt like I needed to be protected. My family needed to be protected. And again, I was 14. I'm older now. I'm more wise, and I can see how swapping safety or security or privacy for the ease of convenience. I don't understand people who make that leap at all, but that's exactly what this Apple AI sounds like.
Right, and like the thing about government encroachment upon your security or like spying on you, that never retracts. It always goes forward and more forward. And the companies that don't comply with that stuff, they don't like, survive for long. And I think that's why things like MySpace and certain phones didn't make it, and that's why Apple and I think OpenAI is probably involved with government. So
Elon Musk is hanging in there with X and Tesla.
yeah,
SpaceX and Boring.
And
I mean, all
SpaceX,
those are
yep.
government contracted
Exactly.
companies.
Yeah, a lot
Exactly,
of conspiracy theorists aren't so happy about Elon. Like Whitney Webb, she thinks that he's like in with the deep state too. But
well, he might have flipped
he's at
because
least pro free speech.
they're dependent on him, and I think he was like smart enough to build it in a way where the stuff he was making, the government is heavily dependent on, because they're dependent on his satellites, his rockets, his charging stations. Like it all just happens to be stuff the government's like incredibly invested in and is essential function of the country. But regardless, so I don't even think that like the features they mentioned that were like the headliners of this thing is like the big deal that he's freaking out about. Like I think he like sees this in a much deeper way than the average person, because he knows what the full potential of OpenAI is. Like he knows how deep it's gonna go. Like he was talking about how crazy it's gonna get 4 years ago on Joe Rogan. Like that the difference between a human and AI is gonna be the difference between a human and a house cat right now. So like in the future. So the fact that the big powerhouse $3 trillion market cap Apple is teaming up with the front runner in AI, I think that's what's freaking him out. And he was suing OpenAI because he's saying that they're not working for the original things they were working towards. They're working towards the betterment of humanity, but it seems that they've strayed away from that path. And I think that's what's freaking him out. So I was excited to see him mention the phone though, because if you guys could go to that chart, 60% of the market share belongs to Apple, whereas 40% in the U.S. market share belongs to Android. So would you call that a duopoly or a monopoly?
A duopoly.
It's 60-40?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's not a lot of options, huh?
No, not at all.
And
Crazy.
the craziest thing about this, and like the biggest reason I think that it is important for him to start his own phone, like he mentioned, you could go to that, the one before that. Yeah, so the reason I think this is vital is because I love that what he did with X. It's like the only place you could go that you could like connect with a lot of people and not get taken off. But there has been rumblings of the notion of them taking X off the App Store. And who's the gatekeeper to the App Store? And Google and Apple. So that's why.
So can we look at his tweet about banning
Yeah.
Apple devices?
Yeah. So yes, he wants to ban Apple devices from.
If Apple integrates OpenAI at the OS level, then Apple devices will be banned at my companies. This is an unacceptable security violation, and visitors will have to check their Apple devices at the door, where they will be stored in a
Faraday cage.
A Faraday cage. You've
Yeah,
never
turn
heard of
the
that?
phone off.
No.
I love those. I first
Yeah.
heard about it on the show Lost way back when. They were talking about Faraday cages, but you put it in there, and like even if you're in a room that has service, if it's in that box, like say it was in this box right here, no service, everything, you're cut off from the outside
No
world.
signals can
Right.
leave the
That's a
phone.
Faraday
It
cage.
can't tell Google where
It's like
it is.
copper or something.
It can't tell the government.
It's basically the reason
You should
why
get one.
if there's a thunderstorm and your car gets hit by thunder, you won't die. Don't try it.
The Faraday?
That didn't make it any
That's a Faraday
simpler.
effect.
Well, I could tell you, as you brought up car, as someone who, does anybody else here own a Tesla? I'm not bragging. I mean,
My brother just bought one.
Big shot.
This week.
no,
You can
not a
brag.
big shot. I got the
It's all
worst.
right, Rob.
Well, I got the not even the dual motor. I got the Model 3, the simplest one. It's a phenomenal car. A phenomenal car. I've driven it for 2.5 years. I've racked up 70,000 miles in those 2.5 years, and I've spent all of $75 in maintenance. I love the vehicle.
Wow.
That's crazy.
The next vehicle that we're going to buy is going to be a Tesla, and then I will get that one. My wife will get the Model 3 that I'm driving now. Everything that this guy seems to touch goes to gold.
Yeah.
He's like King Midas, right? He touched the shit and it turned to gold. All of a sudden, the guy wanted to send rockets to Mars, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
The guy
Yeah.
wanted to figure out how to alleviate traffic, so he figured out tunneling systems. The guy was tired of big tech censorship, so he bought Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, when I look at this guy, I could see how someone could look at him and go, that all adds up to weird things. I'm also a guy that's like, isn't it interesting that Larry Silverstein bought the World Trade Center like 2 weeks before? So I'm very much into the conspiratorial stuff, but every time I see Elon do something, I'm like, fuck, cool, awesome, I'm in.
Right?
Let's go. So if it's an iPhone, and I'm a look, I got a MacBook here, and I got an iPhone here. My entire life, my wife has an Apple iWatch. We have iPads in the house. Everything is Apple. But
Yeah.
if he were to make that switch, I would trust it and go and jump in.
And you
I
know-
would buy one.
You know what I think he should do? So if you go, this thing right here, you remember when Eric Prince is on? He has
Yes, the Up phone,
So-
the secure phone that nobody can hack, nobody can trace.
Yeah.
Like it's basically your phone is in that Faraday box,
Yeah.
but you're allowed to walk around with it and have signal.
And it has an on-off button for like all those features for if it's like tracking, listening, etc. And it doesn't have like the data number that lets them track your data. So I think the move for Elon, Steph, spending a year or two developing a whole new phone, factories and whatnot, like
Partner with him.
buy this, yeah. Because I mean, you know, what you could spend like whatever the market value of it would be. He has the factories and distribution in place, and they could just expedite the whole thing.
It's a really great idea for a partnership.
All right.
And then Eric Prince can lead the Android army when we go and attack Apple and China.
We'll be mobile missionaries
Yeah.
going in
Yeah.
and fighting.
Regardless of green or blue bubbles, I think this is scary in 3 levels. Like, first of all, competition. Like, people think, I mean, the way they can ban freedom of speech by having only 2 companies that will accept or not accept an app, that limits freedom of speech. This happens to the app Getter. That it was the #1 downloaded up because you can say whatever you want, and they banned it from the stores.
The other
You
one
know?
too. What
And
was it?
what was the other one?
The one that got banned like right on
Parler.
night. Yeah, Parler.
Yeah.
So-
Amazon took it off their servers.
Yes. So
Couldn't even go on
so,
the internet and take it.
so the way they can ban speech at a root level is a very scary thought. If it's Musk or even if it's something I don't like, I don't know, maybe Cenk Huger or whatever his name is, if he comes up with a phone, I wish him goodwill, and I hope he succeeds, because we do need to have 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, brands and ecosystems, because our life is dependent on this device. It follows you everywhere. It sees your messages, who you talk to, where you are, and what porn do you like. So that's
But that's the internet. With great power comes great responsibility. If you have a phone, if you have an iPad, if you have a computer, you're sharing part of yourself with the
But-
world, and you need to accept that responsibility. Don't do shit you don't want other people to see. If you want to do other shit, do it in the safety of your home, on your own internet, where nobody can
But
access
Kelly,
it.
that's the argument that got people like Rob to be in favor of the Patriot Act. That logic is the logic they used to pass that bill that they can snoop everywhere else. When you say your own internet, this is so deep. When you say your own internet,
There is no such thing.
there's no such thing because you go home.
Sure, then that's the price you pay for that luxury.
For
There
having
are
int-
so many people that don't have that luxury. We are supposed to have human connection. We're supposed to be able to talk to each other rather than through our phones. And
think-
our human brains are so what am I trying to say?
Socio?
Social,
Yeah.
Our sociology is changing
Is-
because
it
of
is
this.
changing. Quick
But
question,
there's
do
a price to pay for accepting that opportunity and that
Do you
responsibility,
think the
and that's the price.
Do you think the Fourth Amendment's important?
Which is
The right to expectation of privacy in your home.
yes.
Yes,
So this is like violating the Fourth Amendment on steroids. What they're able to do with your data on your phone.
I know.
But you've brought that phone into your home. That was your choice.
But they don't make
That's
it
not
really
their choice.
clear.
That's your
Right.
choice.
They don't get the extent to which they have access to your data. They don't make that explicitly clear.
That is an issue. I give you that.
And I heard people bring up the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and you also have the Fifth Amendment.
Which is
That you-
Plead the fifth.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I see, I know.
No.
Wow,
Yeah,
I said that
nice.
way
No.
too quick. Like I've said that multiple times in my
Yeah.
I
life.
never needed to use that.
Yeah, the fifth, well, that you're not gonna self-incriminate yourself. Like it boils down to that.
Yeah.
So it's violating three constitutional rights out the vat, and that's the first layer of scary. Let's go to the second level of scary. Anyone that worked in the intelligence community knows that you don't track you don't track everyone all the time. You track patterns, and when things pop up is when someone breaks a pattern. So we have an AI that is tracking everyone's patterns, comparing data and putting it together. So if you do anything that goes against the patterns that the government accepts as normal and acceptable, they will find you immediately. Because
Sorry, I work for a media company, and I search everything from wine and chocolate in space to Germany child porn laws to all these random things. There's no pattern.
there is a pattern.
What about your
They-
movements, though?
Okay, let me show you a pattern. This an IP address will work from the same server.
What if we go to-
allegedly?
Sorry.
All right. So they know Rob will be searching weird stuff. You're gonna be searching weird stuff. I search weird stuff. He searches
have
weird
to.
stuff.
Yeah.
So we will delve into terrorism, into CP,
White nationalism.
white
Yeah.
nationalism, this and that.
Haitian tribes,
so,
yeah.
So the
Barbecue.
pattern for this building, because the thing is, and it's a really good point that you bring that up, because if someone without the AI saw the searches on this building, they will literally round us up.
I know.
You know, it's a wrap. They will send the SWAT and they kill everyone inside of here. Because I'm sure even the social media lady, who's lovely, Alejandra, has some searches that could land you in jail. Okay, so that's the second level of scary. Like the amount of data that is going to be processed that it used to slip by is a scary situation.
So you're saying they're improving their systems, and it's going to make everyone into a criminal, basically.
It will make, because show me the person, I tell you the crime. It will make everyone here, probably if you're over 25, you committed a felony, probably. You know, somewhere in the laws you committed a felony. So that's one thing. And then the other thing, the automation of things. I know you're a proud Tesla owner,
Yes.
and the first time I took a ride on Tesla was your car. And I thought,
Cool. I popped your cherry.
I thought the wooden details
hole.
were
Add
really
that to the clip where
Yeah,
Rob G
I
says
know.
he's gay.
I thought it was really nice
With
and
wine in
everything.
hand.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Roberto. Continue.
But I drive the complete opposite to your car.
Yes.
All right. Like my car turns on, off, brakes, and turns. That's all that my car does. All pickup truck, and
Simple
I,
as.
I like your car.
and I do this for a reason, because like if anything goes south, I can dismantle and put that truck back together. You know how every single part in that truck works. Okay, this is to my point. And the other thing, I wouldn't ride anything that has more free will than a horse. Okay, that's why I don't like horses, because they have free will. Like I won't mount a horse because the horse can decide something else. Same with the Tesla. It doesn't have free will, but it might do its bidding. The gap.
No, it does. It has the autopilot feature will change lanes for you. It's
All right.
crazy. This is why Elon Musk is a brilliant
Yeah.
businessman. It used to be $219 a month, and I looked at that and I went, well, I'm not spending that for that. I don't need it. And then they did a 30-day process where they took the price down. to $100. Or I'm sorry, they offered a free month trial of the service, and I tried it. And then in the middle of that free trial, they brought the price from $200.19 or whatever it was down to $100. And I went, oh, that's much more affordable. And guess who now has autopilot, which means it can act on its own. It turns lanes, but that's why Elon's brilliant. He thought, hey, let me give these people something to try. Yes, they're not going to spend this much, and they weren't. Let me cut that in half and see if people will bite. And they did, and I did. So while I know that you're a critic of the car, I love the man.
I think it's lovely.
Without knowing him, I love what he's done.
And if anyone is doing it, I'm more okay with him doing it. But the thing is, the American car. Think of a Mustang. Like when we export a
now
Mustang.
they're electric.
Yeah,
And they're SUVs, which is totally.
Well, when
you
we export a Mustang to Germany or Japan, we're not exporting four wheels and a big V8 engine. We're exporting freedom, like the freedom of getting where the fuck you want whenever you fuck you want. That's why I hate trains, because they're communist. Okay, it's the worst because they tell you what time you need to be in the train and they tell you where the
So
train
you must
starts.
take cruises as well. Any
cruises
type of organized travel, buses,
any type
communist.
of
Okay.
communist, any type of organized travel. So we are gonna lose our freedom to move around because they're gonna gather the data. Okay, Kelly. I see your searches. Okay, are you gonna go to the K-pop meeting in West Palm? No, you're not. Because you're gonna meet with more radicals, so your freaking Tesla is not going anywhere. Okay, so that's what it is, and everything is add up. And I think him adding a kill switch to the phone when his cars can drive themselves is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, we might embrace it, but we're doomed unless we take really extreme measures of like getting rid of this, because the gap between what we know, how things work, and the things that we use is too great.
Well, all right, so we got to wrap the show up.
Sorry.
But what we started this conversation with was AI and destroying humanity. And the reason that I brought that up was there's a Fox News article right here, Fox Business. OpenAI colleagues warned race for AI could lead to human extinction. So I want to ask all of you around the room, are you guys quickly, in under 10 seconds, are you concerned about the rapid expansion of AI, the software, and do you think without it being regulated, humanity is at risk? Kelly first.
Yes.
Shane.
Yes, absolutely.
Brandon.
No, I think it'll create a Goldilocks phase.
Okay. And Humberto.
Not under my watch.
Okay. You're going to
those-
defeat Skynet.
fuck those
He is
guys.
the Terminator.
Fuck those guys.
Humberto the Terminator.